For so the children come, and so they have been coming always in the same way they come. No angels herald their beginnings. No prophets predict their future courses. No wise men see a star to show where to find the babe that will save humankind. Yet each night a child is born is a holy night. Parents sitting beside their children's cribs feel glory in the sight of a new life beginning. They ask, where and how will this new life end? Or will it ever end? Each night a child is born is a holy night, a time for singing, a time for wondering, a time for worshiping. Let us worship.
Tonight, we light the Advent candles for the last time this year. We light the candle of hope for that which is best in us to rise and enliven our souls and our relationships. The second candle this year. We light the
peace,
candle
of hope
for the courage
for that which is
to
best
soften
in
what
us
is
to
rigid
rise
in our hearts,
and
to
enliven our
find the
souls
soft
and our
spot and
relationships.
stay with it.
The second candle this year. We light
We
the
light the
candle
third
of
candle
hope.
in the name of joy. Joy in the shape of gratitude for all that is our life, and joy in expectation of the world that we are building and creating with one another. The last candle is lit in the name of love as the creating force in our lives. And finally, we light the central candle, the light that shines in the darkness with the full power of our faith. We know, said Reverend Bill Sinkford, how real the brokenness of the world is. But we will not give brokenness the last word. May this light bear our hopes, as well as our faith in love, in goodness, in compassion, in justice. The light shines in the darkness, but the darkness shall not overpower it.
So good evening. Welcome to First Church Unitarian in Littleton, Massachusetts on this very special night, the eve of Christmas. My name is Lara Hoke, and I'm so happy that you're here this evening. I'm the minister of this congregation. I feel so lucky to serve them, and I'm so glad that you've joined us, whether you're here in the sanctuary or whether you have joined us online. Welcome, one and all. A special thanks to everyone who helped pull this evening together, and all those who will read and perform for us tonight. And I thank you all for making the effort to be with us. Your presence makes this the special night it is. We're going to have our opening carol now, and I'll invite you to rise in body or spirit. The words are in a lyrics insert, and also they should be on the screens. And the opening carol is, "O Come All Ye Faithful."
O This reading is from a poem, On the Day You Were Born, by Debra Frasier, followed by On the Night You Were Born, by Nancy Tillman. On the eve of your birth, news of your coming passed from animal to animal. The reindeer told the Arctic terns, who told the humpback whales, who told the Pacific salmon. On the night you were born, the moon smiled with such wonder that the stars peeked in to see you, and the night wind whispered, life will never be the same.
Three kings from Persian lands afar, to Jordan follow the pointing star, and this the quest of the travelers three, where the newborn king of the Jews may be. Full royal gifts they bear for the king, gold, incense, myrrh are their offering. The star shines out with a steadfast ray. The kings to Bethlehem make their way, and there in worship they bend the knee as Mary's child in her lap they see. Their royal gifts they show to the king, gold, incense, myrrh are their offering. Thou child of man, go to Bethlehem. The kings are traveling, travel with them. The star of mercy, the star of grace, shall lead thy heart to its resting place. Gold, incense, myrrh thou canst not bring, offer thy heart to the infant King. Offer thy heart.
Thank you. Our time for all ages this morning will be coming to us from the magic of the internet. Our wonderful director of religious education, Thea Shapiro, sadly tested positive for COVID. So very responsibly, of course, she tested herself and is staying home. But the story is by her husband, David Grober, and she and David will be with us now through Zoom.
Give me one more second. All right, David and Thea, let's give that a try.
Hi all. Wish I could be there, but I disappeared. I brought David along, and he's going to share a story he wrote called "Feast of Sweet Cheeses," and I hope you all enjoy it.
Hey all, here we are, Christmas Eve. It's good to be together. Well, sort of in our case, but it's good to be gathered in the warmth and the light in this bitter cold night. I don't know anybody who's not yearning in this season for the sweet comfort of home among family and friends. Some of us celebrating Christmas, others gathering to celebrate the solstice, Hanukkah, Diwali, Festivus. Even the very smallest of us, I imagine. Listen very carefully. You may hear a mouse or two somewhere in the rafters of the church getting ready for the feast of sweet cheeses.
Excuse me. Did you say the Feast of Sweet Jesus?
No, not Jesus. Cheeses. You know, Edam, Gouda, Monterey Jack. Imagine 4 young mice. Mabel, Murray, Moonbeam, and Mac. Imagine these 4 friends scurrying home after a long day of mouse adventures. There's Mabel. She's a field mouse. And Mabel is headed to her home in the field. Murray is a tree mouse. He's headed to his home in a tree. Moonbeam, the river mouse, she's headed to her home by the river. And Mac, the church mouse, he's headed to his home, well, you get the idea. It's time for these 4 friends to say goodbye before continuing on their separate ways. But first, Mac the church mouse raises himself up, puts one paw upon an acorn, and says to his friends, "What? My dear ones, until we meet again, I wish each of you a happy and healthy feast of sweet cheeses, and that all your wishes come true. My wish is for a big block of the sweetest cheese slathered in honey. Oh, that would be sweet." Mabel, the field mouse, shakes her head. "Our field is barren. My family hasn't found much food this winter. My wish for sweet cheeses is just a bit of cheese, any cheese at all. Oh, that would be sweet." Murray, the tree mouse, he speaks. "Many nights ago, my father went out looking for cheese, and he never came back. My wish for sweet cheeses? A loaf of stale bread, a smile on my mother's face. Oh, that would be sweet." Moonbeam, the river mouse, she starts to cry. "My mother and my father, they're both gone. And I live with my brothers and sisters in a damp burrow near the river. My wish for sweet cheeses, a few crumbs of bread. Oh, that would be sweet." An icy gust of wind sends shivers through their little mouse bodies, and a single tear falls from Mac's eye and freezes on his furry cheek. Mac has an idea. "Hey, I want each of you to come to our church for the Feast of Sweet Cheeses. Mabel asks, can I bring my family? Murray asks, can I bring my mom? Moonbeam asks, can I bring my brothers and sisters? Sure, Max says, bring everybody. And they do. Every mouse gathers on this night in the cozy attic of Mac's church. Mouse families from all over, the fields, the trees, and the river, are warm and safe together. And when every last mouse is settled in a comfortable circle, Mac's mom and dad, with help from Mac's uncles and aunts and brothers and sisters and cousins and more cousins, drag and push a giant block of cheese into the center of the circle. Mac cannot believe his little mouse eyes. It is the biggest, most beautiful block of cheese he's ever seen, and it's slathered in honey. Everyone is quiet as a mouse. Go ahead, Mac, says his mother. Show everyone how it's done. And as everyone watches, Mac claws off a bit of cheese, closes his eyes, makes a wish, takes a bite, and licks the honey off his whiskers. And then Mac announces, hey, everybody, go ahead, have some cheese. And so Mabel and Murray and Moonbeam and every other mouse take their turn clawing off a bit of cheese, closing their eyes, making a wish, taking a bite, and licking the honey off their whiskers. And each and every mouse agrees it is the sweetest cheese they've ever tasted. And what do you suppose they wished for? I can't tell you exactly. I bet their wishes are sweet. I know some of us have seen a harder year than others, but whoever you are, wherever you live, I wish for all of you a chance to gather in a warm place with family and friends, and may all your wishes be sweet. Merry Christmas.
Thank you so much, David and Thea. And Thea, heal well. Okay, we're going to sing two carols, a couple verses of the first Noel, followed immediately by a verse of Hark the Herald Angels Sing. So I invite you to rise in body or spirit.
give me a second. I'm sorry, please go ahead.
Thank you. My reading this evening is titled Fear Not by Lynn Ungar, a Unitarian Universalist minister. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were sore afraid. And the angel said unto them, Fear not, which is maybe a silly thing for a creature made of wings and eyes to say to a couple of schmoes who were out just hanging out with their sheep until the heavens cracked open. Who wouldn't be afraid? And who stops being afraid because someone tells you? And yet, fear not is the thing the angels say, apparently. An angel says it to Mary and to Joseph. Fear not, as if that would undo the panic of the moment, let alone all the hardship to come. The story never says if Mary or Joseph or the shepherds were comforted by these fear-denying words. Likely not. But all of them moved forward, did the next thing that was to be done, which is about all you can ask. And maybe when the word came from Herod about smiting babies and they had to run, maybe when all the daily terrors of life descend, it could be good to have the angelic voices whispering, fear not, all down the long road, and reminding you about the tidings of great joy.
There's a star in the east on Christmas morn. Rise up, shepherd, and follow. It will lead to the place where the Savior's born. Rise up, shepherd, and follow. Leave your sheep and leave your lambs. Rise up, shepherd, and follow. Leave your ewes and leave your rams. Rise up, shepherd, and follow. Follow, follow. Rise up, shepherd, and follow. Follow the star of Bethlehem.
Thank you. It's the tradition of this congregation to take a special offering once a month to help support an excellent charity. We also have the tradition here of collecting a special offering each Christmas Eve, and tonight's offering will go to Loaves and Fishes. The mission of Loaves and Fishes is to provide nutritious food in an atmosphere of kindness and respect to those in need. FCU has long given contributions to this wonderful charity. May our generosity continue tonight. If you are online and you wish to give to Loaves and Fishes, go to their website, loavesfishespantry.org. And if you are here with us in the sanctuary, this evening's offering will now be given and received in grateful appreciation, all for Loaves and Fishes. Please join in the words of our response. We are grateful for the opportunity to share our gifts. May they bring an added measure of joy in this holiday season. I invite you to rise in body or spirit to sing "It Came Upon a Midnight Clear."
Oh,
Please be seated. Now the angels sing. Do we hear them? What song are they singing? What do you hear? As the words that we heard earlier by Lynn Ungar remind us, the nativity stories in the Gospels of Matthew and Luke have the angels telling Mary and Joseph and the shepherds, "Fear not, be not afraid." It's striking to me that there's so much fear at the heart of the nativity stories. Joseph is afraid. Mary is afraid. The shepherds are sore afraid. In each case, an angel comes to tell them, "Fear not," and gives them the gospel, the good news. Now, especially in the case of Joseph and Mary, the angel is saying, in essence, yes, there's a scary situation. They're in a frightening predicament. But they need to find their courage to help bring to pass better days ahead. And that's just what Mary and Joseph do. They find their courage. They summon up their best selves in order to do what must be done. It's not that there's nothing to fear. The angels, in addition to saying, "Be not afraid," also give many warnings of dangers. And it's not simply that the angels want us to have a comforting feeling of safety. Yes, the angels in the nativity stories are compassionate, but they want something beyond our feelings of comfort. The angels say, "Fear not," because there's work to be done. The angels say, "Fear not," because the world needs us to rise to the occasion, in spite of our fear. There's another instance of fear in the nativity stories, one that goes a little differently. And this is the fear of Herod. In the Gospel of Matthew, Herod is afraid when he hears that a king of the Jews has been born. Herod, however, doesn't summon his best self. In fact, he has a cowardly, self-serving, horrible reaction. He seeks to destroy the newborn king of the Jews, even if it means killing many innocents. So Herod's fear quickly turns to hatred. His hatred leads to evil actions and much suffering. Tonight, it's my hope that we can be the angels of the Lord for each other and the world, reminding ourselves, singing to ourselves and everyone around us, "Fear not," not because there's nothing scary, but because sticking to fear and not working up courage to work past it isn't going to serve us or anyone very well. And when fear comes creeping back in, because it does, we have to summon up our compassion and our love. We can't let our fear morph into hate or let our fear morph into inaction from feeling overwhelmed. Fear sets us against each other. It makes us focus on our differences and not notice each other's common humanity. Instead of fearing climate change and the dangers it brings, we're taught to fear strangers. We're taught to fear those different from us. The culture of fear isolates and paralyzes. Fear cuts us off from each other and from our own better angels. But this is not the way we want to live. This year, may we remind ourselves of the timeless lesson of the nativity stories. Fear not, there is hope, there is love. May we cultivate the spiritual discipline of making decisions based on compassion and love and hope. A family of refugees is fleeing a dangerous situation. Let every heart prepare them room. Someone is homeless and needs a place to lay their head. Let every heart prepare them room. Hope and love take imagination and strength. This year, I remember the words of Serbian poet Boris Novak. Between two words, choose the quieter one. Between word and silence, choose listening. Between two books, choose the dustier one. Between earth and sky, choose a bird. Between two animals, choose the one who needs you more. Between two children, choose both. Between the lesser and the bigger evil, choose neither. Between hope and despair, choose hope. It will be harder to bear. May we be so brave and bold this Christmas to choose hope. As you will hear the choir sing, with the thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices. Let us hear the angel voices and the voices of our own better angels. May it be so. Blessed be, and amen. Thank you. We haven't been able to do this since 2019, and I've missed it. It's where we get the Candlelight service name from. We will be dimming the lights and singing our final song together, Silent Night, when Oliver and Cindy come down the aisle with the candle. The lit candle should be held straight, and the unlit candle's the one that turns. That is the secret. So we will be lighting candles while Molly plays quietly, and then when we are lit, we will sing. when the song of the angels is stilled, when the star in the sky is gone, when the royalty are home, when the shepherds are back with their flock, the work of Christmas begins. To find the lost, to heal the broken, to feed the hungry, to release the prisoner, to rebuild the nations, to bring peace among siblings, to make music in the heart. May it be so. Merry Christmas. Our postlude will be done by the Ukes, so please stay. It's a great, fun song.
Amber called her uncle, said we're up here for the holiday. Jane and I were having solstice, now we need a place to stay. And her Christ-loving uncle watched his wife hang Mary on a tree. He watched his son hang candy canes all made with red dye number 3. He told his niece, it's Christmas Eve, I know our life is not your style. She said, Christmas is like solstice, and we miss you, and it's been a while. So the Christians and the pagans sat together at the table, finding faith and common ground the best that they were able. And just before the meal was served, hands were held and prayers were said, sending hope for peace on earth to all their gods and goddesses. The food was great, the tree plugged in, the meal had gone without a hitch, till Timmy turned to Amber and said, is it true that you're a witch? His mom jumped up and said, the pies are burning, and she hit the kitchen, and it was Jane who spoke. She said, it's true, your cousin's not a Christian. But we love trees, we love the snow, the friends we have, the world we share. And you find magic from your God, and we find magic everywhere. So the Christians and the pagans sat together at the table, finding faith and common ground the best that they were able. Now where does magic come from? I think magic's in the learning, 'cause now when Christians sit with pagans, only pumpkin pies are burning. When Amber tried to do the dishes, her aunt said, really, no, don't bother. Amber's uncle saw how Amber looked like Tim and like her father. He thought about his brother, how they hadn't spoken in a year. He thought he'd call him up and say, it's Christmas and your daughter's here. He thought of fathers, sons, and brothers, saw his own son tug his sleeve, saying, can I be a pagan? Dad said, we'll discuss it when they leave. So the Christians and the pagans sat together at the table, finding faith and common ground the best that they were able, lighting trees in darkness, learning new ways from the old, and making sense of history and drawing warmth out of the cold. Merry Christmas.